Hello everyone, I'm back once again with a fresh new video, and this time our topic is going to be a very interesting one, something that I had already touched upon in one of my previous videos, and that is how do you pick the industry while choosing a career in the data science industry, right? So, which was the first step that I mentioned in one of the previous videos that I made. So, today we are going to talk about that. So, the first thing that I would like to tell you guys regarding an industry choice in data science is what connects you to that industry, right? So, you have to really start asking yourself this question that do you want to be in a specific industry because of some person that you admire? So it could be maybe say Steve Jobs for moving into the like the smartphone or the like the devices industry, tech industry, something like that, or maybe a person like Sundar Pichai, uh, whom you immensely admire. That's why you want to move into the tech internet industry. Or is it somebody in the healthcare industry, maybe say a CEO of Novartis, maybe say Vas Narasimhan, or somebody else, say Albert Bourla of Pfizer, that whom you immensely admire. That's why you want to move into the pharma industry. So ask yourself this question: that is there a person that is whom you tremendously admire because of whom you want to move to that industry? You want to work as a data science uh, as a data science person in that industry. Another choice could be do the problem statements in that industry and the data sets that are dealt within that industry of particular interest to you. So for example, are you more attracted towards say customer transactions which happen daily at regular intervals of a certain duration on certain e-commerce site like say Amazon or Flipkart or Mintra? Are you more interested in dealing with those kinds of data which are typically multivariate longitudinal data? That means you have data points on multiple features along a certain time canvas. That means in real time that data is being constantly generated around the world from all the customers who are accessing a particular e-commerce company's website, right? So it's a very rich data set that has lots of information on so many different features and on so many different timestamps, right? And it's obviously a gold mine to explore and to really apply different kinds of data science tools and techniques in order to extract various novel insights about the customer behaviors in different product categories, or maybe trying to figure out the product supply and the demand for various product portfolios that are out there on the e-commerce site and stuffs like that. So these are certain potential problem statements that I'm talking about which are related to the e-commerce industry. So you have to think like, do these kinds of problem statements really excite you? Does this kind of data really excite you? Right? So this is the second thing. So first is the personal part of it. That means the person to whom you are drawn towards because you admire that person who comes from that industry, or who is an extremely high ranked job in that industry, like a CEO or maybe a senior vice president or somebody of that sort, or maybe even somebody whom you know personally who works in a specific industry, who whom you admire tremendously. So that's the first thing, that personal touch that comes along with it. The second thing is this part about the data sets that are dealt within that industry and the problem statements that are solved within that industry. So that's the second thing. So after you are done like really thinking about these two aspects for the various industries that operate all over the world, the third thing that you should now be asking yourself is what which industry would be the best for your optimal career growth. Because what happens is that as a fresher you have the entire world in front of you, right? I mean, it's just an open field for you to just go out and conquer. right? And as you just step into that field, you will see people, you will interact with various stakeholders in multiple companies, and your journey will just progress like that. So it's very important to make sure that this start is a good one and is a solid one, right? So that's the reason why you should definitely pay attention to which company you are choosing right at the beginning of your industry career, in the beginning of your corporate career, right? And always remember that data science is just a term, right? It's a term that is extremely in demand right now because of multiple reasons all over the world across multiple industries. But at the end of the day, you'll have to be in a corporate job, right? And that comes with its own set of terms and conditions, right? Data science is just something that will empower you to bag a decent corporate job of your desired salary expectations, your lifestyle preferences, and all things like that. But that doesn't mean that simply saying that, okay, I want to be a data scientist in some company that comes along my way just because I'm a fresher, that will give me the optimal career growth, right? And I can choose to work in any industry, in any company, and that'll be the best for me. It doesn't work that way, to be very honest, because at the end of the day, it's still a corporate job. Data science is just a tool that can empower you to bag a good corporate job. So you must understand the difference between these two things, right? So that's the third thing you need to keep in mind, that you have to choose an industry that will align with your current educational and professional background, whatever that is, whatever little that is. Even if it is nothing, it's fine. But you must make sure that that the industry that you pick at in the beginning is as closely aligned to that background as possible. So, for example, if you are a fresh BTech in mechanical engineering and you choose to work as a data scientist in, say, the research and development department of Pfizer, which is a pharmaceutical company, that will be a big risk for you. Why? Because it's not like you won't be able to do that very well there, but maybe since you are a BTech in mechanical engineering, something that is more tech related would be a better choice for you, because you in that case you would be able to leverage that knowledge, whatever little that you've acquired in your 4 years of BTech career, BTech tenure in any university. I mean, how much time you have paid attention to your studies, I mean, it doesn't matter. You have learned something there. 4 years is a pretty long time, and you must have had some really strong knowledge of some concepts. And in case you choose an industry that is closely aligned with that, there is nothing like it, because that will definitely give you that initial leverage to boost your career and to even accelerate it further as you go in that journey further, right? So that's the thing that I would suggest you. Another thing is, in case say for example you say that, okay, you have done your bachelor's in some field which has got nothing to do with data analytics or data science, it is something completely different, then also it's fine. Then you're pretty much out on the open. You can be a little bit flexible here, right? So this is the third thing. And so you must keep all these factors in mind: the personal touch, the data sets and the problem statements in that industry, and this part about the corporate aspect of it, and the data science as a tool that empowers your chance in corporate, as in to optimize your optimize your career trajectory in data in corporate, is what you should be thinking of. So these are the three things that I will suggest you guys to keep in mind, right? So After you have done all that, that means you have figured out, okay, this is the industry that I want to pick based on my personal preferences, depending on some person that I admire in some who works in this particular industry, depending on the data sets that is dealt within that industry and the kind of problem statements that occur as use cases within that industry. And also I have also figured out that this is the best industry for me in order to provide me an optimal career trajectory in the long run in corporate. So after assuming that you have done all these three things, you will be able to jot down some industries that would be best for you. Okay. So at the end of this exercise, you will now know that, okay, this is one industry which just checks all these three boxes of personal touch, data and problem statements, interest, and optimized career trajectory in the long run. Now, after doing that, so suppose that you pick, say, particular industry like that, that you will be off to a great start. Now, I mean, you guys might say that, okay, we are a fresher, we do not have any experience, and whatever job comes along our way, that will definitely build our experience, right? Uh, Look, I'll tell you that that is definitely a way. I'm not saying that that won't work, that will definitely work, but there might be a better way to even accelerate your career growth in corporate, okay, with data science as the empowering tool. So for that, I would strongly say this thing that, and I am a strong believer of this thing that, yes, corporate, like there are many people in this world who work in corporate for the money part of it, for the perks part of it, and there is nothing wrong with that, because obviously we all need to finally put food on our table, make our ends meet, and that's the primary objective with which many people work, because ultimately for many people it's ultimately a question of survival, so, and living and making both ends meet. So that's completely fine, but if you want to make it big in corporate, and since right now you have the entire ground in front of you with just setting out on the journey, you can really make an informed choice as to which industry you want to pick, which company in that industry you want to pick, in such a way so that your career trajectory in the long run is optimized, in the sense that you just go to, you reach that position or that level of expertise and influence where you want to reach in the shortest amount of time. Okay. So for that, I would say that I strongly believe this thing that you, if you have a very clear vision as to where exactly do you see yourself in corporate at a certain point of time, and I know this thing has been discussed so many times in the past, like there's a typical question in interviews, like, where do you see yourself in the next 5 years? I'm not talking about that. What I'm talking about here is something different. What I'm talking about here is you have to visualize a particular kind of a role, a particular kind of a job profile where you would like to reach in a certain span of time. Now, the job profile and the span of time is completely up to your choice. So, for example, if you choose, say, e-commerce as an industry, right, where you want to start working in a data science profile job, then you might as well have a vision like this, that maybe say, okay, after 3 years from now I want to be a data science lead who will manage a team of say 20 data scientists and data engineers in a certain e-commerce company which is very highly reputed, say like Amazon or Flipkart or something like that. So that's a clear vision, and you have a plan there. And once you have this charted out, you can now prepare, you can now really uh, make sure that you get there by that time. But it's really very important to have this vision clear in mind, and it always helps when that vision is strongly aligned with your passion for that industry. So for example, if you are passionate about e-commerce as an industry in terms of all the three elements that I mentioned previously, you will be able to get to that state much faster than it would be in case you are not that passionate about that industry. So for example, if I talk about myself, I have been tremendously passionate always about the life sciences and healthcare industry. For me, it meant more always to have a big impact on people's health across masses. And I'm not saying money didn't matter for me, it definitely did, and it still does because it's important. But if I talk about my passion, it was always much more about impact on people's lives rather than on securing money for myself. Right? So that was always my intention and my vision. And I still continue to do that, and that's the reason why I never left the healthcare industry. In fact, I would say that it's been almost about 12 years uh, that I have been a part of the life sciences and healthcare industry, not just in corporate, in academia as well, like combined. I'm saying like I've been a part of this industry for such a long time, and I still I'll still continue to be in this industry, and I've had rapid career advancements over all these years, and I believe it has only happened because I was always passionate about what I was doing. I was always passionate about this industry. So this is something that I always want you guys to keep in mind, that develop this passion if you really want to be in this journey for a long period of time. So, and if you really want to make it big in your corporate career, and just remember, once again I'm saying that data science is just a tool that will empower this growth, that will empower this career acceleration for you, but it will not take you to that extent unless you have a clearly picturized dream. Okay, so with that I'll end this video today. I hope you all have learned something valuable from this, and definitely please feel free to post your comments and like and subscribe my channel if you find my videos interesting and helpful for your career growth. So with that, thank you everyone. We'll see you again in my next video. Thank you.